there is a kind of supplement sort of a trend in Japan too, especially among younger people. Some people promote supplement and some influencers promote supplement. Horiemon is one of them because he has his own brand. He sells his own, NMN supplement. So this kind of biohacking, which is kind of imported from California, is becoming big in Japan as well. But that is not based on our traditional culture. That is not based on the Japanese natural health I usually talk about. And there is one concept from Japanese natural health that can apparently boost collagen naturally. Japanese longevity secret to boost collagen. That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Sachiaki Takamiya, a 62-year-old biohacker based on Japanese natural health and the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. Do you take collagen supplement? It is big at the moment, isn't it? It is good for your skin health, good for the joint health, good for the bone health, and good for muscle recovery. Many people are taking collagen, and many influencers are talking about collagen. Personally, I don't take collagen, and I don't recommend that you take collagen either, because this is the opposite of the Japanese longevity secret to boost collagen that I'll share with you today. Now, again, it depending on who you are. So the Ikigai diet is designed for healthy individual to practice for a long time. It's a kind of long-term diet. It's not a temporary fix of anything. But if you have a specific medical condition, or if you're very old, like over 80 years old, and you have a weak condition, then of course you do require a bigger amount of a nutrient, which can be supported only by only taking supplements. So I understand that situation. So I'm not saying you should never take supplements. However, supplements are like a supplement. It's a secondary thing. It shouldn't be the main part of your diet. Your diet should be based on whole food, and then maybe from time to time you can support that with taking supplement. But supplement shouldn't be the main part of your diet. But what is happening today is many people are taking supplement on a regular basis. Many people are taking tens and twenties of supplement as if this is a normal thing. This is a kind of a trend. It's a kind of cool things to take, creatine supplement or collagen supplement. And you can see why, because there is a big business behind it. Supplements sell. There are so many supplement companies out there, and that is why so many influencers are talking about different kind of supplements. And of course, I mean, they do, give you certain evidence, they show you certain studies, that is probably, you can benefit from taking certain supplement, but we also need to be skeptical of the information presented by influencers if there's a big business behind them. So don't be fooled by so-called evidence that many people present. Instead, rely on the common sense or the common wisdom, if you like. Do the centenarian in the blue zones take supplement? Did the centurions in Okinawa take supplement? Did the centurions in Kyotango take supplement? Or what about the entire Japan? Do Japanese people take supplement? No, we don't. I mean, of course, we do take supplement, but not the same degrees as Americans do. So in America, some reason pharmaceutical industry and the supplement industry are so huge, and talking about pharmaceutical industry, people are so used to taking medicine. If you have a headache, you take pills. If you cannot sleep, you take a pill. People are so used to the idea of taking a pill to fix a problem. So when the supplements are introduced, people welcomed it without any question because it was healthier. It's natural. It's much better than taking medicine. So what's wrong with taking supplement? It was something introduced very naturally, but it didn't happen in Japan because we're not used to taking pills so much in our culture. So people do take supplement, but only as a secondary thing, not a part of the main diet. I don't know many people who take like 10 and 20 supplements a day. I mean, I do know some people who take just 1 or 2 supplements, but not 10 supplements. That is crazy. Now, of course, there is a kind of supplement sort of a trend in Japan too, especially among younger people. Some people promote supplement and some influencers promote supplement. Horieman is one of them because he has his own brand. He sells his own, NMN supplement. So he promotes supplement a lot, but other influencers too. So this kind of biohacking, which is kind of imported from California, is becoming big in Japan as well. But that is not based on our traditional culture. That is not based on the Japanese natural health I usually talk about. And there is another movement in Japan that is a Shizen Hub movement, the naturalist movement. People who want to live naturally and they want to revalue our old tradition, our century-old tradition, because we have a lot of wisdom and insight of health, our human body and natural way of living, and we don't need to import modern approach from the West. And there is one concept from Japanese natural health that can apparently boost collagen naturally. So if you don't want to take collagen supplement, but you still want to boost collagen, this is the way to go. So using this concept or practicing this concept, you can boost collagen naturally. This was first advocated by a man called Sagen Ishizuka, who was the founder of Shoku, which became the first wave of the Japanese natural food movement. And later, the man called Yukikazu Sakurazawa, who is known as George Osawa in the West, he is the founder of the macrobiotic diet. And Yukikazu Sakurazawa was a member of Shoku, and he also advocated this concept. And then originally, this concept was from Shojin Ryori, which I call Zen Shojin diet, because this was practiced among Zen monasteries for many years. So this concept is from Shojin Ryori that can boost collagen naturally. So that is what I'll be sharing with you today. So please watch the video until the end. Now, those of you who just discovered this video today, this is the Ikigai Diet channel, which is the health and longevity channel. We usually cover things like diet, exercise, mindset, and sometimes we cover Japanese blue zones because there are several blue zones in Japan other than Okinawa, and we cover from traditional Japanese health method to modern Japanese health trends such as chokatsu. So basically, this is a channel about how to increase health span for people over 50 or over 60. So if you're interested, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you. So the concept that can boost collagen naturally from Japanese natural health is Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku. Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku. So this character, Ichi, means one. And this character, Butsu, means thing or things. And these two characters is called Zentai, which means whole. And this character is Shoku, which means eating. So Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku means eating the whole of one thing. So when you eat something, eat the whole thing, which sounds like whole foods, but it is more than whole food. It's beyond whole foods. Because when people talk about whole foods in the West, you're basically talking about regular food as opposed to processed food. So eat the whole food, meaning eat just the food. Or sometimes you're talking about whole grains, not refined grains. And that is part of Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku too. So when we say Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku, we often talk about eat brown rice instead of white rice, or with whole wheat bread instead of white bread. But also, when we eat vegetable, eat the skin, the root, and leaves, and the whole vegetable. So, for example, when you eat carrot, we don't eat only the carrot, but with the carrot leaves as well. So that is not part of the regular whole foods. When people talk about whole foods, you're talking about the vegetable, like eating vegetable, but not necessarily eating the skin and root and everything else. So that is different from Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku. And when you eat fish, eat the small fish so that you can eat the whole fish instead of eating a part of a big fish. So when you eat tuna or salmon, you don't eat the whole tuna or you don't eat the whole salmon. It's too big. So you cut the tuna or salmon into a small piece and you eat it. But that is not part of Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku. So you want to eat everything. So the bone, skin, the head, the whole fish, and therefore it is better to eat small fish. Many people think, we eat sashimi, like, sashimi is big in Japan, but from the concept of Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku, or the Shizenha don't necessarily eat tuna so much. We eat more small fish, such as sardines, jako, and niboshi that I've been talking about in the last few videos. By the way, they're all sardines, but they are caught at different stages of their growth. So jako was the smallest when they are babies, just baby sardines, and niboshi was slightly bigger, so maybe they are like child sardines, and then those are adult sardines. But we have other small fish in Japan. This one is smelt. That is also popular. And then this one is silver striped round herring. That is also popular. And then we have the kind of pond fish or the river fish that the Japanese pond smelt. And that is popular too. So we have a different kind of small fish. And this smelt is often dry. So it has a similar nutritional profile to dried sardines. And we eat the whole fish to pay respect to life. So the concept of Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku is to pay respect to life, and therefore you don't want to waste thing. You want to eat the whole thing. So eating means you're taking life really, whether you're eating animals or plants, because plants are living creatures too. So you're taking a life, even when you're eating plants. And in fact, you would understand why when you practice gardening, in the process of growing vegetable, you kill so many things. You kill insect, you kill other weeds, and you kill, microbiome in the soils and so on. We cannot avoid killing in the process of living. So we need to come to terms with the fact that we do end up killing some living creature. So at least when you eat, you want to pay respect to life and then eat the whole thing. Do not waste anything. Is the main concept of Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku. It is a Buddhist concept, and that is why it was practiced among Zen monasteries. So it was not necessary for health, but it ended up being healthy. So this way of eating actually turned out to be healthy. There is an interesting study done by Dr. Shoji Kondo. I often talk about him too. So he was a medical professor at Tohoku University, Japan. And I think between 1935 and 1971, like a long time ago, he spent 36 years traveling around Japan, visiting over 990 towns and villages. And then he discovered many long-lived villages and short-lived villages. So he compared the diet between the two. And then among the long-lived villages or even short-lived villages, so there are many fishing villages where people consumed fish. Around that time in Japan, people lived in a mountainous region, didn't consume fish because the sea was far away from them. I mean, today, everywhere in Japan, we have access to fish because we have a transportation system now. But around that time, it was difficult. So only the coastal region, the fishing villages that people consume the fish. But among the long-lived fishing villages, many of them are consuming small fish like those, but not big fish, because big fish was their commodity. They sold the big fish, and then they didn't think those small fish was valuable, so they consumed among themselves. But they ended up being healthier than other bigger fish. That is interesting. So what is to do with collagen then? Why Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku boost collagen? Well, in the case of eating small fish, by eating skin and bone, you can have a higher amount of collagen because collagen is in the skin and the bones of animals. And small fish is probably the only creature that we eat the entire thing. You cannot eat the entire animal. That's impossible. And you can eat the bones of an animal. So small fish is the only thing that we can eat, both bones, skin, and even the head as well. Actually, both calcium and collagen. By eating the bones, you can have a higher calcium intake, which doesn't happen with the bigger fish because you don't eat the bones. What about supplements then? Because you can take collagen supplement or calcium supplement, then you don't need to eat the small fish. That is true. That is one way of looking at it. However, there is a difference between whole food and supplement. That whole food contains all kind of nutrient, not only a single nutrient, not only collagen, but other nutrient, and they all work in synergy. So it has a synergetic effect. And I'll show you one study. So this study says apples, and especially apple peels, have been found to have a potent antioxidant activity and can greatly inhibit the growth of liver cancer and colon cancer cells. The total antioxidant activity of apples with the peel was approximately 83 micromole vitamin C equivalents, which means that the antioxidant activity of 100 grams apples, about one serving of apple, is equivalent to about 1,500 milligram of vitamin C. However, the amount of vitamin C in 100 gram of apples is only about 5.7 milligram. Vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant, but this research shows that nearly all of the antioxidant activity from apples comes from a variety of other compounds. Vitamin C in apples contributed less than 0.4% of total antioxidant activity. For details, visit this website and look for this research. The title is Apple Phytochemicals and Their Health Benefit, and then go to this section, antioxidant activity, and you find this research there. But just use the common sense and the common wisdom again. You don't need to look at all those data to understand this. When you observe the natural kingdom, everything is interrelated. They're all interconnected. Nothing works alone. There are big trees, there are small trees, there are small plants, weeds, insects, small animals. Everything is a forest that all contribute for a forest to thrive. And the same as the human body, we have different kind of organs. We have a intestine, stomach, and lungs, and so on. And they all work separately, but in conjunction with others, in collaboration with others, and different nutrients can support different organs, but altogether they kind of work in a so much complicated kind of ways to sort of support every organs in the body. So the problem happens when you separate a part from the whole. You lose the holistic way of looking at things by separating a part. But recently, many science are talking about only a part, such as protein or creatine or collagen or omega-3 fatty acid. They say, oh, creatine is wonderful. Omega-3 is special. Collagen is special. Do take this supplement and so on. But without understanding the whole, you do not have the synergetic effect of things. So practice Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku, especially Zentai. Zentai means whole. So Zentai. Practice Zentai. Value Zentai. Zentai is the key. And do you know Masanobu Fukuoka? I often talk about him too. I mentioned him in my book, Ikigai Biohacking. So he's the author of The One Straw Revolution, and he's the founder of Natural Farming Method. So Masaoka Fukuoka would probably say that humans have created problems by separating things. Go back to the beginning and put it back to its original natural state. That is the key to solving all problems, he would say. So the answer is stay natural. Find a natural way of doing things, then you will not complicate matters. All right, so does it mean the answer is to eat small fish? Well, I mean, yeah, of course, definitely you can eat small fish, and I recommend that you eat small fish, that you eat a whole small fish that can boost collagen naturally, and that can, boost your calcium intake and many other things as well. However, that is not the answer. This is still the same way of thinking. You're saying, oh, the small fish is the answer. You're saying, oh, the collagen is the answer, or the proteins, that's the same way of thinking. You're separating things from the whole. So you need to look at the whole picture, which means to practice mago wa yasashii koku. I cannot stress it enough. The key is mago wa yasashii koku, not the small fish itself. Of course, fish is part of the mago wa yasashii koku, so you want to consume small fish as part of fish, but do consume other things too: beans, nuts and seeds, seaweeds, vegetables, mushrooms, tubers, whole grains, and fruit. They all work synergetically. You want to gain collagen and calcium from small fish, and omega-3 fatty acid and vitamin D and many other things too. But unless you eat with other things like, beans and vegetables and so on, you don't gain the same benefit. Eat mago wa yasashii koku. This way, you get to support your bone health, you get to support your muscle health, you get to support your skin health, you get to support your heart health, you get to support your gut health, and you get to support your brain health simultaneously. All those nutrients from different diverse ingredients can work synergetically to support your entire body. Now, for the details of this holistic way of thinking and wise way of looking at things, please read Live Wiser, Not Smarter. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. If you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And please leave your comment. Do you ever practice Ichibutsu Zentai Shoku? Because I talked about this concept before. And how do you practice it? Do you eat the vegetable skins and so on? Please, write your practices in the description box below. Now, I talked about supplement more in detail. The reason why I don't take supplement, please watch this video.